Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. Your support means the world to me and I truly appreciate it. Continue to come back for thought-provoking and heart-racing stories. Now let's get to it. I slid out of bed after my alarm went off. Ugh, it's Monday, I thought. And I have school. A knock on my bedroom door told me that Mom was up too, and she was making her rounds. I'm pretty sure she heard my alarm go off, but Mom was being Mom and felt that it was her job to make sure that everybody was up and getting ready for their day. I fought the urge to lie back down and headed for the bathroom, marveling that I'd made it before everyone else. Mom was downstairs getting breakfast started. She's usually the first one to use it. I quickly brushed my teeth and hopped in the shower. I was feeling good, so I didn't linger because I didn't want to hear my brother bitch that he needed to use the bathroom while I was rinsing off. That would seriously ruin my day. Mornings would be less stressful once Dad added the extra bathroom. Mom had a full spread on the table by the time I made it downstairs. I didn't really want to eat, but I sat at the table along with my brother and Dad. My brother Zane was wolfing down eggs, bacon, and toast. Dad sipped his coffee and Mom nibbled on her toast. I took a bite of my bacon, washed it down with orange juice and nodded to the parents, then headed out the door. In my junior year in high school, my parents bought a house in the suburbs of Queens. I fought them tooth and nail for them not to transfer me to a new school. Their condition was that I make it to school on time every day. My commute was a long bus ride to the train station and the train to downtown Brooklyn. My luck was holding out because the bus came as soon as I reached the corner, and I even got a seat. I smiled because it was Monday high rush hour, and I got a seat on both the bus and train. I got off when my stop came and joined the throng of students headed to our high school 2 blocks away. Homeroom was noisy as always until the teacher walked in. Mr. Yeager was a youngish guy with the beginnings of a potbelly. He doubled up as both homeroom and English teacher. He dropped his backpack on the desk and wrote the word attendance on the blackboard. The noise level dropped so we could listen out for our names. 10 minutes later, the bell rang for first period, social studies. After lunch was biology, and I had been dreading it. I agonized over it all weekend. We're dissecting a frog today. Personally, I didn't think it was necessary to cut up a frog. Couldn't we just watch it on video and then discuss it after? Seriously, how was cutting up the thing going to teach me about life? When was I ever going to use it unless I wanted to be a surgeon or something? Was there a question on a job application asking if I dissected a frog? And if I answered yes, was it going to guarantee that I get the job? Seriously, though. Mr. Spletzer said that the frogs had been treated with a chemical so that they wouldn't spoil. My lab partners were Terrence and Latoya. Terrence looked way too eager. He was ready to dig in. He had on his goggles, rubber gloves, and everything. "Hey, Diana, I want to have the first cut, okay?" he asked me. I made a go-ahead gesture at him and scooted away. Our table was the third from the front of the class and on the left side next to the windows. I sat on the end next to the windows. Operation Dissection was going well when all of a sudden the lights began to flicker and the windows shook as well as the building. I got up to go look outside through the windows to see what was going on, and so did some of the other kids. I was thinking tornado, but I couldn't be sure if they saw what I saw. I stepped back and rushed back to my table, specifically under it. A big black funnel was heading straight for us, and I, for one, didn't want to be close to the windows when it collided with the building. I reached up to grab the tray holding the frog off the table. I held it close as if to save it from whatever was heading for us. It hit the building squarely. Suddenly, I was surrounded by darkness, and I felt dizzy in the sensation of weightlessness. After a while, I opened my eyes. I found myself still crouched down on the floor. The table disappeared, and I stood up to find myself amongst a group of people. I didn't recognize anyone or where I was. The classroom was gone, and the people were funny looking, like they had no color. I mean, I could tell what race they were, but it was like seeing them in black and white, like those old movies. We were all standing in this great hall when more people came to join us. I looked around examining the place. The ceiling was high, and the walls were gray cinder block. Lighted torches hung on the walls all around us. Big tapestries hung on the walls between the stained glass windows. Portraits of a figure that made my heart beat hard in my chest was on all of them. I heard someone murmur a name, and then as if summoned, he appeared. Lord Zu. I found out later that he was the ruler of this realm. The shadow world was a place between the physical world where I was from and the void where nothing exists but this place. Somehow I got sucked out of the physical world and landed here in his gathering hall, along with his recruits and the freshly caught. I was a freshly caught recruit. Much later on, I learned that Lord Zhu's goal was to enter the physical world to conquer it, but he was stuck in the shadow world. He's been able to temporarily enter the physical world, but hasn't found a way to stay. Instead, he captures his recruits. You've probably been a victim of his work, but didn't know it. Lord Zhu can reach across the shadow world to affect the physical one. Do you remember tripping over nothing and fell flat on your face? Well, that was his work, a bit childish, but that was him experimenting. In this great hall were hundreds of people of all races, ages, and languages. When Lord Zhu appeared suddenly in the air above us, I was too impressed to be scared. However, when he spoke, my heart nearly stopped. He welcomed us in his very old world accent and way of speaking, then proceeded to spew his spiel about how close he was to achieving his goal and that we would do great things together. Okay, see average student here. I can see myself doing good things. But great things? Not a chance. I turned around to stare at the people around me. Were they hearing the same speech I was hearing? Probably not, because they were cheering. The newbies like me just stood there looking confused. Lord Zhu's image started to fade, but I won't ever forget what he looked like. His eyes were fully black in a pale-looking gray face. His hair was completely white, and if he combed it a little, it wouldn't give off such a bad vibe. But then I guess that was the point. His bushy beard was black, and wisps of black smoke floated around his head. It dawned on me that I was either hit by that funnel, or I was knocked out and was dreaming. Then again, this could be real, and I had been sucked through a black hole into another dimension. I was hoping it was the former and not the latter. After his speech, everyone paired off with a newbie and dispersed. I just stood there looking lost. I was about to go join a group when the cutest boy ever clasped my hand. "You're new here," he said in a southern accent. "Yes, I am. I'm not sure how I got here or where I'm supposed to go," I told him. He scrutinized me from top to bottom, and then his gaze fixed on my belly. I looked down too and saw a white cord. I reached down to touch it, and he stopped me. "That's your connection to the physical world. You shouldn't have one. No one else here has one. Who are you?" Now I was starting to feel a bit annoyed. I didn't ask to come here. I was minding my own business when this funnel thing appeared and disrupted my biology class. "I'd like to go home now," I said with a little attitude. "You're from the physical world?" he asked with raised eyebrows. "What does that mean?" I countered. "Lord Zhu recruits from the physical world. That's where he snatched you from. It's the only thing that explains why you have a tether. You're alive. You shouldn't be here. Lord Zhu can use you to get a foothold in the physical world. You must leave at once." "No shit, Sherlock. How?" "I'm not sure, but Lord Zhu mustn't find you," he admitted with a frown. He didn't even flinch that I cursed. I put my hands on my hips. How am I supposed to hide from him then? "I will help you, if you help me," said the cute boy. "Help you with what exactly?" I wasn't sure I could trust this cute boy. "You can help me find my eternal rest." "What? What's an eternal rest?" Instead of answering me, he took my hand and pulled me along behind him. His hand felt icy cold. When we finally stopped, we were in a small room. "I want you to stay here until I come for you." When he let go, I blew on my hand to warm it. The room had no windows, and it was dark. To occupy myself, I sat on the floor to study the cord he called a tether. In the dark, it glowed brightly. When I touched it, I got a shaky feeling all over my body, so I stopped. Cute black and white boy came back for me, and he led me through a series of hallways and finally through a tunnel. When we came out of the tunnel, we were on a beach near a big body of water. The air was neither cold nor hot, and the sky was gray. There were no birds in the air, and the sea was flat and dull. I couldn't smell the ocean either. "There's not many you can trust here, but the witch can hide you until we can figure out how you got here and how to send you back." He led me to a shack further down the beach. He knocked once, and then we entered. "Prudence," he called out. "What do you want?" a voice said behind us. I jumped because, well, I wasn't expecting anyone to be behind us. I was expecting Prudence to be old and ugly, with warts on her face, but she appeared to be a little bit older than me, and she was pretty. After all, he did say that she was a witch, and witches, as a rule, weren't pretty. The cute boy turned to face her with a smile. Lord Zoo went recruiting again, and he's brought over a live one. I don't think he knows, so I need you to hide her and help me figure how to send her back. Wills, why do you always bring me strays and a live one at that? You know Lord Zoo is going to detect her sooner or later, lamented Prudence. Uh, excuse me, I said, interrupting them. My name is Diana, and not a live one, or stray. Prudence rolled her eyes. Sorry to hurt your feelings, Diana, but if Lord Zoo detects you here in the shadow world, he can use you to get to the physical world, and you really don't want him to do that, Prudence explained, shaking her head. How do we keep him from finding out about me? I asked. I kind of understood that if Lord Zoo found me, it would be disastrous. We must find out how he got you here first. Lord Zoo is an egomaniac, and if he discovered that he succeeded in getting a live person here, he'd try to do it again. I don't think he even knows that he snatched you, Prudence said. What is he, some kind of mad scientist? I asked. No. Lord Zoo rules this realm. All his efforts is toward getting to the physical world to rule there. It would be the end of everything if he succeeds. He mustn't find you, Wills reiterated. He's had alchemists working day and night, fine-tuning his experiments. When he goes recruiting, he always brings back the dead or recently dead. All those people you saw in the hall are recruits he's been collecting, except they are all dead. They exist here only. Once a month, they go on raids collecting more. Why does he recruit dead people? Are you dead too? I asked him. He and Prudence were both black and white in appearance. Dead is probably not the correct way to describe what we are. We are probably what you would call an image of what we once were. Shadows, if you will. Outside of this realm, we wouldn't exist. However, this realm sustains us. Some don't last for some reason, so he must get more, said Prudence. Why and how long have you been whatever you are? I asked, feeling afraid. I didn't think they were lying. I quickly looked down at my hands. I let out a relieved sigh. I was still in color, well, as much color as I can be, being African American and all. I fought in the Civil War. Lord Zoo tries to recruit from different timelines. He learns from us, Will said sadly. Wow, that was like 150 years ago. Did you die in the war? What has he learned from you? I died my first time out to the front lines. I'm not sure how long after that I ended up here. He learns about how things work from each timeline, especially science and magic. I looked at him skeptically. If you're from that long ago, how is it that you speak modern English? He looked at me like I'd asked him a stupid question. In the time I've been here, I've met people from all eras. You're proof of that. I learned from them. Fair enough, I turned to Prudence. What time are you from? She smiled at me. Her face was even prettier now. I am from Salem, Massachusetts. I was a true witch, not like those simpering girls what faked it. But alas, I was hung by my neck until dead along with them, she said, showing me her scarred neck. You're even older than he is, I told her. If she was a real witch, I'd better be careful around her. Are you a good witch or bad witch? I asked. I needed reassurance that I wasn't in danger of being turned into a toad. Prudence smiled again. Relax, I practice light magic, not dark. Great. Now that we are all acquainted, how do we get me back home? I work for Lord Zoo. I help him organize his samples. I can find out what happened when they got you. They usually discuss what went wrong after each unsuccessful raid, Will said. How does he know if he was successful or not? I asked. When we were in the gathering hall, there were a few new recruits. So he was successful in that respect. Other than obtaining new recruits, he also tries to prolong his presence in the physical world. I'll try to find out what happened when he meets with his team later. For now, you must stay hidden. And you can stay here with me until he returns, Prudence added. Well, that's it for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop a comment too while you're at it. Until then, stay blessed.